like to call the council meeting of Monday, October 4th, 2021 to order. If I can have our city clerk please call the roll.
Mayor Flores.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Tharp.
Present.
Councilmember Noble.
Here.
Councilmember Dugo is absent. Councilmember Pierce. Here. Councilmember Bousquet is also absent. Mayor, we have a quorum.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All right, I have a motion made by Deputy Mayor Tharp, second by Councilmember Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries 3-0. Moving on to comments from the public for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. All right, seeing no one, moving on to consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, I have a motion made by Deputy Mayor Tharp, second by Councilmember Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that motion carries 3-0. Today we don't have anything on the regular agenda, so we are moving on to comments from the public on non-agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. All right, seeing no one, moving on to our city manager's report. City Manager McHugh.
Thank you, Mayor. We're not going to break the record for being done within a few minutes, only because I have a few things to go over. So we're not going to break the record. I have a couple things. We had a really good presentation last week at the community center. It was part of our Let's Talk series of community conversations. It was the first in a series of them that are going to be held monthly. We have different topics. There was information about them in the City Link. We have information on the website. We're pushing it out on social media. The first conversation that we had last week was regarding sexting and human trafficking. We actually had a lot of students attend, which was really great. Students that attend these community conversations do get community service hours, and so it really, while they're benefiting from it on that side, they're really hearing a lot of really good information, and they were very engaged. Councilman Pierce attended last week, and he had some comments as well, thought it was really, really good. So the one for this month is going to be October 20th on domestic violence. So if you can make it, it's at the community center. We do them both virtually and live, so you can either attend or you can participate virtually. So that is, again, October the 20th, and the topic is going to be domestic violence. We do have subject matter experts from different partner agencies, organizations that will present at those conversations. So again, October 20th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the community center. Hope you can be there. The other item that we discussed previously was related to redistricting. We talked a little bit about that, I believe, at the last meeting. We did have a virtual meeting this morning with representatives of FAU. Some of the representatives, a couple of them that were on the call, actually were familiar with Green Acres because they participated in the last time this was done at the city. So they've been around for a while. They've been around for a while, but they were familiar with the last time they worked with the city of Green Acres. So we are going to get a proposal from them, and then we will work with them on the staff level. This will not be something that impacts the upcoming election in March, of course, but it is something that we're going to look at. They will provide a proposal as to what the expectations are, then provide some different options, present before the mayor and council, and then we can go from there as to, where we are now, where we could go for, what the different options are, and then, move forward with that. So that's where we are on that. Outside of that, there was something that I did want to go over with you. I know we've had conversations about it. It will only take a couple of minutes, but we talked a little bit about some of the upgrades that we are going to be doing behind City Hall as part of the fiscal year 22 budget. And I know the Mayor, you had said that you wanted to see some ideas or things that we were going to be looking at. This really is only related to landscape. This is not related to the building itself. The building could use some exterior upgrades. We are going to bring that forward on the October 18th meeting so that we can have some discussion about that and you can see some of the things that we're looking at. But we talked a lot in the past about, I would say over the last couple years, actually in the time that I have been with the city, I've heard often that, I didn't realize you guys were back there, or, I drove by your building and I realized you were there after I got to the second sign, or, so the visibility of our city hall, it's not very visible, we thought, and I think we've had discussions in the past regarding some upgrades that we might be able to do. There was some hesitation. We had some conversations with residents from across the street. I think that we have a good plan going forward that still improves things aesthetically, but then also offers some visibility. So, what you'll see here is this is actually the way City Hall looks now. So this is the visibility that you have. Now you have the signs at both the east and west side, but really you can only see City Hall when you're right in front of City Hall. So the next slide I'm going to show you is actually something that was we don't have really high tech like Photoshop or really high tech stuff that maybe architects would use, but I think it provides a concept that we're trying to work with, that this backdrop here was the original concept for City Hall, that what we did was we just dropped it into the picture. Now what you'll see as part of what we're looking to do is that we are going to remove a lot of the lower stuff. So where you see some of the lower stuff that's still at the bottom of the trees, that is going to come out. We're going to take some of that out. We're going to plant some new trees that will grow into larger trees, larger shade trees. There is a berm along the front of City Hall. I know one of the things that I had heard in the past is that when I'm looking at City Hall from the road, I don't want to see all the asphalt for the parking area. So putting in a hedge in front of City Hall that's going to go along the berm, that would be something that would really, the first thing that your eyes are drawn to are the building, not necessarily the asphalt or the parking lot. So that was the concept behind that, about putting kind of meandering 2-foot hedges along the berm that's there. So the trees will remain. We're not taking the trees out. But the lower stuff, I think it's the saw palmetto, some of those other things, they are going to come out as part of this so that we can be able to see City Hall better, and so that then with some of the color changes or some of the things that we're going to propose to all of you regarding the visibility of City Hall and some of the exterior upgrades, you'll see that at the next meeting. But we wanted to try and work on some of the landscaping because we do have our Veterans Day event here at City Hall, so we didn't want the front of City Hall to be completely torn up for Veterans Day. So we have a decent amount of time that we could do a lot of work, do some plannings, things like that, and get everything kind of in the ground before that event. So we're looking at that, and then when you look at the aerial view, you're going to see some of the things that we're going to put in. Again, the hedging is going to be kind of meandering along, and the next slide will explain, what we're looking at there as far as why we're going to kind of have things meander through there. But all of that low stuff would come out. We're going to add some new plantings that'll provide some color, that'll grow into some nice shade trees, but still keep a lot of the trees in front of the building. Again, the trees aren't going to come out. This is really just the low ground cover that obstructs the view of City Hall. And then, go ahead.
Just for clarification, there's no trees being removed?
No, the trees are not being removed. This is just the lower stuff, the stuff that's the ground covering. It's that the trees are not coming out.
Okay.
And then on the next slide, we had talked about the upgrades in the back. One of the things we wanted to look at with being able to do the upgrades is an extension of the path behind City Hall. We see a lot of people that are using the path behind. Having the ability to be able to create, again, a meandering path that goes through and around the front of the building, and that's where we can create the path in between the trees so that people can enjoy not just the back of the building but the front of the space as well. We're finding that we're using the City Hall a lot more for events, particularly our artsy event, to have the ability to be able to use the entire complex, both front and back. It just opens it up to a much larger event, and again, it will provide some visibility. We're looking at, I'm sure you've seen In the CityLink, we're looking at adding storyboards. We're doing a storyboard in our parks. We could potentially do a storyboard here where families could come, and as they're walking through, they can also have the storyboard to follow along with as well. So that's what we're looking at as far as the landscaping. I have hard copies for you. I just didn't want to give those in advance. You can take them with you. But, at the next meeting, we'll talk more about updating, as far as maybe colors to City Hall. We're not going to do anything crazy. Don't worry. It's not any crazy, loud colors. But we just think that there's an opportunity. The building's over 15 years old. We think that there's a good opportunity to do potentially some upgrades to the exterior as well that really don't cost a lot of money, but will provide a very different look to the building. So that's all I had. I didn't know if there was any questions.
Councilmember Noble.
In one of your first slides, you had trees with red leaves, and that looked like they could be something that's either called a flamboyant tree or a poinciana.
That's what it is, a Royal Poinciana.
I would love to see those trees be there in front.
Yeah, that's what we're looking to do
They
there.
bloom. You could see that at the post office here on Jog Road when they bloom.
Yeah, it is. It's a very pretty tree. We were looking to put those in. I think we were looking, if you look at this slide here, 4 Royal Poincianas. So 4 Royal Poincianas, 4 giant birds of paradise at each entrance, and then the 2-foot hedges, which is the Green Island ficus, and then 4 gumbo limbos, which also would then be all integrated through. And that's in addition to a lot of the trees we have now. A lot of our trees are really tall trees. We have some really nice palms as well. I don't know all the palms yet. I've been here 6 years, but I understand there's hundreds and hundreds of kinds of palms, but I haven't memorized them all yet. So they're palms, but I don't know exactly what type they are. So that's what we're looking to do. We can talk more about it at the next meeting, but just from the landscape perspective, we wanted to show everybody that concept so they could see.
Did we allocate any funds towards arts in public places?
The funds that we have, no, we did not have any funds that were budgeted, but based on the discussion that we had at the last meeting related to the wall at Melaleuca and Haverhill, we would probably need to do some kind of adjustment should we move forward and once we get quotes or concepts from artists. Yes.
Because I think if we're going to make this a more enjoyable space, I think some sort of sculpture or something that would tie in.
Absolutely, and and we can show that to you at the next meeting. We have, I'll wait till the next meeting to show you some concepts of things that we're looking at related to art. I'll wait till the next meeting.
I just thought since we're we're moving in that direction.
Yep. And I think that it provides for just more open, more welcoming, more visible. We can do some improvements to the signage at both the east and west entrance. This is not something that, we cannot do with the monies that we have, whether it's landscaping, whether it's, dollars that we have for some of the improvements behind the building. We are actually applying for Florida recreation dollars, FERDAP dollars, so that we can potentially use those dollars for behind the building so then we can invest. So that period is from, I think, Friday until the 15th or 16th that we're applying for those funds. So hopefully we'll benefit from that as well. So we're looking for dollars wherever we can get them.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other questions? Does that conclude your report?
Yes, sir. That's it.
All right. Moving on to the city attorney's report. Attorney Tortivia, no report. Thank you. Moving on to the mayor's and city council report. I'll start to my left. Councilmember Pierce.
As Andrea mentioned, the conversation, Let's Talk, over at the community center regarding sexting and human trafficking was very informative, very eye-opening, and it's a great conversation for the community.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Noble.
No, I don't have anything this meeting.
Deputy Mayor Tharp.
Ms. McHugh, with the series that you have going on, I mean, great topics. I absolutely love it. One that came up this past week with me in my personal life. My daughter we got a text and a phone call and an email in the middle of the day. Student was arrested on campus with a gun. So if you have space or future topics, gun safety, gun awareness, I think would be, another great topic. So
Yep, we can
thank you for the
absolutely
series,
look
by the
at
way.
that. And what we try to do is we try to align them. October is breast cancer awareness, domestic violence awareness. We try to, whatever the topics are, April is autism awareness. We try to align those conversations, with those months that are being observed. But we can look into that.
Thank you.
All right. Does that conclude your report, Deputy Mark? All right. So for the mayor's report, first of all, one of our fellow council members, Councilmember Dugo, her husband passed away, a decorated military veteran, a colonel, someone that sacrificed a lot for the well-being of others. And I just want to observe a moment of silence on his behalf. Thank you. I really don't have a report. I just wanted to obviously share that with everyone and basically pay our respects. I know our thoughts and prayers are with Councilmember Dugo as she's going through a hard part of in her life, and if everybody can just share, express their feelings, I know that she would probably appreciate that. I know that she's very proud of his career, and our thoughts are with her at this time. That concludes my report. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Meeting's adjourned.